Hi families, happy Friday. As we're ending this first week of hybrid learning, I just wanted to send out a quick little video on a few things just now that we've made it through our first week and kind of, like I've mentioned before, kind of building our ship as we're sailing. So just some points I wanted to touch on. First, just wanted to talk about the work packet. I'm looking over here because my list is on the board. So the kids' weekly work packets. If your child is an A student, every week we will keep his or her work packet in our classroom so that when they come to school on Monday, we can use what's in the packet here at school with us. And then we will send it home Monday night in their red folder just to house it there. And then on Tuesday, we'll also use it when they're in school. So those A kids will have their packets with them. If your child is a B student, then his or her packet will be out in our bin out front as it has been. So B students will have to get their packets over the weekend, and they're actually already out there. It's about 2 o'clock right now. From now and throughout the weekend, they'll be out there and ready to be picked up. So B kids pick theirs up. A kids will be here at school. So for the work packets, when your child is at school, we will be doing those work activities here. You will not need to post those activities for that day on Google Classroom when your child gets home. So for example, again, if your child's an A student, then let's say, so we work on Monday, Tuesday's packet at school, and then Monday, Tuesday work, whatever we complete, we have already graded, we've seen, so nothing needs to be posted to Google Classroom. What you will see is that the math papers and some of the activity sheets, you may see a big star, smiley face, some feedback on that, and we're sending that back home with the kids so that you can see the work that they've done in the classroom. We are not keeping that work, just again, so you can, that's kind of our communication back and forth so that you can see like, oh, this is what we worked on, this is what they need help with, or they did a great job with this, great. And you can do what you want with that. So when your child is at school, the work packet activities that we do, we will do at school. You may also see though, and I've explained this to some parents, like for example, the letter writing. So let's say that we're learning the letter L and they have the letter L writing paper in their packet. If your child is at school, we may be doing other activities in lieu of filling that actual worksheet out. So you may see that packet coming home with the letter L paper empty or having not being complete. And that's not because we didn't practice that skill. It's just that we use different utensils and tools to do that. So for example, like whiteboards instead of using paper, or pencil and crayon versus using that specific writing paper. So just because it's different when they're at school, we have different resources, we have more resources, and we're able to provide interventions and other resources in that way. So I hope that makes sense. But just wanted to clarify that when the kids come to school, the packets, we work on them the days that they're here. You don't post to Google Classroom those days. The days that they are not here, those are the assignments that you post to Google Classroom for your child to get the proper participation points for that day. Also, I wanted to just mention too, the live class meets that we do they've been really amazing. You guys are awesome. Thanks so much for getting the kids on and in class with us. It's really fun and cute to watch the kids that are here and the kids at home just interact with each other and be excited that they still get to be with each other even though they're physically not all here. So thanks for that. I do just want to kind of clarify too, now that we've kind of made it through our first week, if your child is able to hop on at those times that are indicated, that is amazing. That's awesome. We would love to have them, but it is not required. So if your child, as long as your child's completing the work packet and posting that work, they're getting their participation points. So if you're not able to make a live meet while your child's at home on a Monday or Tuesday, if you're a B kid, or a Thursday or Friday, as long as you're getting that work done, then that's completely fine. We obviously would love to have them, and they're learning more skills by coming to our live meets. But you know, if you have a dentist appointment or something else going on and you're not able to meet, with us, no worries. I totally understand. Everyone's schedules right now are all different. So definitely understand. So that is work packets and participation, just a little tidbit of that. The other part of the folder I wanted to explain to you is, I guess along with the work packet still, to help the kids stay more organized. They're kind of having a hard time going to their cubbies first and then getting the materials that they need to go to their desks to be organized and prepared for the day. So what we've mostly been working on is our calendar book, the writing packet, and then whatever packets that are for the day that they're here. So for example, I just pulled the kids from the B group. So this is their Thursday packet and Friday packet. If it's all in the red folder, it's much easier for them to take it all to their seat in one load. So they can carry their folder and then their little pencil box to their desk with them instead of carrying all these different papers that are in their backpack. Some friends have their own folder like this, which is great, you know, either way, whatever you want to do. But I say the red folder because this is kind of our communication folder back and forth. So it may just be easier if it's in one spot. But if you have another folder for them to kind of keep things in, that's fine too. It's just a lot easier, like I said, for them to transport from their cubbies to their desks. And then when we're cleaning up at the end of the day, it's much easier for them to just put everything nice and neatly back in here instead of smushing papers in their backpacks and then having a hard time finding them. So just wanted to mention that little tidbit, and I just put those in here as an example of exactly what we've been using. We also had a parent that mentioned a good idea of the math pages, and this is up to you. But when your child comes to school and you see on the checklist that there's a math page that we'll be completing from the actual math book, if you would prefer to tear out the pages that are listed on our checklist and just send those in the folder for the days that your child is here, that is perfectly fine so that they don't have to carry the whole book back and forth with them. But if you think you might forget, or if you'd rather just have them bring the book, then that's fine too. And we can have them grab the book with their folder and bring it to their seat. So thank you for that. Just wanted to I've been getting some good ideas and wanted to share that idea that one of the parents said or had asked about. And then to the back of the folder, you'll see that there's this calendar here. This is what we call our reteach calendar, our behavior calendar. At the top, I made it for September and October since we weren't in school for that many days in September. So for the rest of our month, you'll see our schedule on here for Unified Arts. And you'll also see these little boxes. They're only on there for Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, since we don't have kids coming Wednesday. Whatever day your child comes to school, you'll see in those two boxes, starting next week, that they will either have a smiley face or an R. If your child receives a smiley face, that means that during that day, let's say, so this is Monday, October 5th. Let's say that on Monday, October 5th, your child comes to school. They did great. They made great choices. They didn't have to have any reminders over and over again of what to do. They'll receive a smiley face there, and that's it. That's our way of communicating to you all that they made great choices. If your child had to have a lot of reminders, let's say they're bouncing down the hallway, touching the walls, touching their friends, keep shouting out, sitting on their feet, not showing procedures, and have to have reminders for that over and over again, then we'll write an R on here, which is a reteach. And so that means that your child received a reteach in one of our procedural areas. So for example, let's say that we're in the hallway again and they're touching the walls. And I say, all right, Betty Jo, that's a reteach. During their value time, which would be recess, then they will be retaught that behavior until it's mastered. So then during recess, before going out to play, we would go over what the procedure is. So facing forward, arms at our side, voice at a 0, feet on the blue and white line. And we would practice that, show it until we've showed that we can do it, and then they're able to play. So we always kind of like use the analogy of basketball and learning a layup. So until your child gets the layup and understands how to do it, they're retaught the same procedure over and over. So that is what a reteach is. So when they receive a reteach, if they receive one, don't panic, because it's, again, they're just learning how to be at school. This is only the first week. So every child has received a reteach, and that's totally fine. It's just one of those things that if they need a reminder over and over again, okay, now we've said it, we've showed it, now I need you to show me this, but now you're being retaught the behavior. So anyways, the reteach, when it's an R, I'll put next to it, or Miss Murray or whoever's helping will put hallway and then shouting out, or classroom, out of seat if they keep walking around with, So just wanted to communicate that with you. I hope that makes sense. The reteaches seem a lot more in depth. It's a school-wide procedure that we use. So all of our specials teachers also use it. So if they receive a reteach in gym, that means that Mr. Reed gave them a reteach. Or STEM class, that means Miss Michaels gave them a reteach. And we will communicate that with you on their daily folders. So I hope that makes sense. If not, let me know. And moving right along to the next thing. So I only have 2 more things on my list, I promise. The next thing is transportation. First of all, I want to apologize. This week, since it's our first week, has been just figuring out the waters that are ahead of us. We have had some mix-up as a school of what needed to be completed in order for the kids to get where they needed to go. So what I mean by that is there was a survey that was sent out during our transitional weeks of how your child was getting to and from school during the transitional weeks. And then also there was a part of that that asked, when school starts hybrid, how will your child get to and from school? That was just background knowledge for our school to have in general to start looking into, but that wasn't the official form for parents to fill out that we go by. So whatever transportation form that we have or had on file is what we went by on our bus and car rider manifests. So what you originally filled out is what I got in my mailbox and what I went by as far as filling out my bus and car rider manifest and getting the kids where they needed to go. So this is what the official transportation sheet looks like. And because of how much confusion there was, like I said, as a school, this was happening as a school. I think the 2 transitional weeks also just confused everybody. But we're going to have everybody fill this paperwork out again. And I am going to collect it myself. Mrs. Murray and I are going to collect it for our class so that we can keep our own copies and then send it off to the office so that there's no middleman between our parents and us receiving that information. So this is in the packet that was provided by the front office. There's an enrollment card, a disclosure form for custody, transportation, and emergency contact information, and then affidavit. So all of this is in one little packet stapled together, and this was actually thrown to us like right at the end of the day the other day to put into folders, so that's why I've not communicated this yet to you, but we ask that you fill all of these forms out. And then, like I said, transportation is in here. So we will collect this ourselves, make a copy, and then send the rest to the front office. And I know that you guys have filled out paperwork out of the wazoo. And I can't promise it's going to end, but it's just with school being the way it is, and it's almost like Groundhog Day. We're repeating the first day of school over and over again. It's just trying to all communicate and stay on the same page and make sure we have the information that we need to safely have your child here at school. So definitely make sure to fill this out and just stick it back in your child's folder. What was nice is a lot of parents who have already filled it out just stuck it in the front part of their child's folder, so it was easy for us to see. But also, there's a section inside the folder that says return to school, so you can just put it right back in that section. Either way, we'll be on the lookout for that, and we'll keep a checklist of whose we've received, whose we haven't, as if you could return that as soon as possible, that would be great, so that we have all the paperwork that we need on file and we're good to go. So I think that is everything I have on my list for now. I'm sure there's much more, but if you think of anything or have any questions, definitely let me know, and we will sail into week 2 of hybrid together. So thanks again for all you do. Thank you for your patience, and I hope you guys have a fantastic weekend.